what Ruth has brought about, the ease of doing business, and what the government is doing to actually try, or what is being addressed in the document to enable that conducive environment. There's a part here where they're talking about, when I say they, it is these people, the task force. Because
Kenyans who
suggest nyinyi mnajua hapo. No.
BBI report is a report of Kenyans.
Yeah, no, BBI report is a report.
Feedback.
Anyway, that's another conversation. Now, under shared prosperity, which according to my Bible, which I got in the Bomas launch, page 117, they talk about shared prosperity, and that's where they actually then go to page 126 to quote that the aim here is to help young people form businesses, open an advice desk in every Huduma center, manned by a business development expert. And some of the things that you'll see they're talking about is that they want to encourage the private sector to form a national non-profit foundation chaired by the president. And they also want to, they want young entrepreneurs to be matched with business development advisors. Now, the reason I wanted to bring this is to talk about mentorship. Because as you're talking about an environment that is conducive for young people to be able to even think that they can be entrepreneurs, it has to start from somewhere. It has to start from mentorship. What are your views on that?
I'll not start from mentorship. I'll start from somewhere above mentorship. Mm-hmm. To create an environment for young people to ensure that even they can be mentored, you must have a stable country politically. Mm-hmm. We start from there. The reason why today most of the young people are crying is in 2017, when we went for the election, some of their shops along University Way were shut down. They were banned because there were people calling themselves business community, guarding and stopping the demonstrators. Why? Because of bad politics. So the issue that must be fixed before we go there, fix the politics. BBI report has demonstrated that the politics of Kenya can be fixed. Number one, by ensuring that there's a political inclusivity. Where you win,
but
good for you.
Where you win,
good for you.
So there's no loser.
No loser, all are winners. Number two, let's go to the question.
Brigid, what do you think about not having losers? You know, it's a win-win situation. Ukilose, unakuwa hapo official, opposition, and then, you know, everybody's a winner. This is like the Oprah show. You get one and everybody gets a car. What do you think?
I think for me, BBI kutakuwa na lose and win. Hakuna kusema win-win hapa. Yes.
Lazima kutakuwa na already mnyinyi mumelose.
Exactly. Me
already the people know
I don't know if Fredrick why
Gloria.
Even politically, listen to her. Yeah. Even politically, she's saying,
yes, Fredrick is massaging this thing for me. No, you are really massaging.
I'm very objective.
Na lose even about the business, about the procurement, about the supplies. There is no advantage with people with disabilities.
Me, I want to advise Brigid on one thing. Mm-hmm. I feel your pain, and not only you. There are so many people.
Okango-Secretary, you empathize.
No. I am because
you're talking about winners.
Winners, yes.
I
want to explain to her. I have friends who are also living with disability. Yeah. I have relatives, some of them living with disability. Mm-hmm. And what I've tried to explain to them, when you lose in one area in this document, you gain in another. And this is where the
where are they gaining?
Where
are they gaining?
I would want Brigid to take time and read this more and more, and she'll understand it. In the political arena, the people living with disability have gained tremendously.
How?
When you are providing the party lists from the political parties, they must be factored in. And that's why we are saying the constitutional provision that require that 5% of them must be there in elective or appointive is achieved. When you are going to appoint the commissioners of the Youth Commission, 5% of them ideally should be there. So you look at, number one, the 7. What is 5% of 7? They will be there because that is a constitutional principle that cannot change.
You know, maybe let me build the bridge between you and Brigid. Okay.
Brigid. Bridge.
You know, Brigid is saying,
yes.
Kwanza hawataki elective positions. Not hawataki, but it is difficult for them to compete fairly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah?
That is true.
But when you come and say, but you have been represented. The political parties have to front 5% of you in elective politics. Brigid is telling you they are already disabled.
Because we are no longer saying nominated, but the list shall be, assuming we go for the, what we call proportional representation.
Yes.
In the proportional representation, they shall be rewarded, the party shall be rewarded depending on the votes that they garner. So we are saying, in implementing that list, what the IBC must look at, that list from the political party, if it achieves the principle in Article 52.4, 54.3.
Kwanza, umenda sana, which lists? Umenda sana.
The list from
list
the political parties.
Political parties. Yes.
That requires that the list that they provide must have a youth, must have a person living with disability, must have a woman.
This list, is it for elective positions or for appointed positions? For nominated?
It is assuming that the
representation, whereby after an election, now you are allocated seats based on the number of votes that you have garnered, meaning there's an assured guarantee that persons with disability must be there.
So, if she can interject, yes.
I need this thing. Listen to me. That Article 52, Clause 2, what I'm demanding, be amended to remove the term progressive. Why are you putting us progressive? As provided for the Constitutional Amended Bill 2020, bending in the Senate. This has been the greatest hindrance towards true and meaningful inclusion of persons with disability in Kenya.
So that is a suggestion that persons with disability are giving.
That I want. No.
First of all, that statement acknowledges that there's a principle that benefits.
This is what I'm demanding.
Just hold on. You're not demanding, you are acknowledging. Because you're saying by the word that.
It is an acknowledgement, but what she's asking.
I don't want this term progressive.
Yes.
Listen, when you say we amend to remove the term progressive, it means you're saying it must be given wholesomely. Remember, the seats have got a cap. The Senate has a cap of 94. The National Assembly has a cap of 360. The County Assembly has another cap.
They're protecting their seats.
No, you cannot say, you cannot say that we amend progressively. Tomorrow, we don't wish for anyone to live with a disability. We don't wish for that. No one wishes for that.
No, but the truth of the matter is, we have people with disability.
That's why I'm saying.
So let's bring it a notch down. So the point here, and this has been my biggest problem with the task force. This is what I'm experiencing here with Okango, is that you can hear me.
For record.
For the record, Okango said he's not from the task force.
Bomas, he sat at a very strategic position.
I saw him. I saw him. He sat behind the task force.
He sat where the task force was sitting.
In fact, nilikuwa nangoja wamwambie asimame.
Yes.
Anyway, so many things. So many factors.
My biggest problem has been as a youth and as a woman is I feel like I have been speaking and airing my views and what I want, and the person on the other side already thinks they know what I want, and they're speaking back at me with what they think I need. You understand? Sasa hapa disconnect ni, mimi nikikuja nawaambia, sisi hatuna makazi, we don't have, an income. And then you sit on the other side, you say, I have you, I got ya. Nitakupe tax break. Sasa unanipe tax break na mimi sina kazi.
Gloria, the examples you're giving are very valid, but I feel like they're very selective because I remember I appeared, and I haven't given my experience of appearing before the task force. I appeared before the task force, and I'd want to report back that almost 90% of what we presented before the task force was included in the document. And even questions of employment were included in the document. So as we are giving these examples, let us not focus our lens on the 7-year tax, or what about jobs? Because jobs has also been addressed. The fact that young people have barriers to getting into jobs, that was acknowledged, where they were even saying that young people acknowledged the fact that they have academic qualifications, but they still have high requirements, entry-level requirements to jobs. And one of the propositions was that needs needs to be reduced so that young people can be able to access jobs, you know, so that at least as young people below the age of 30, you can find directors in senior directorship positions. Forget about even directorship positions, just normal jobs, normal public service jobs that young people need to be mainstreamed into. And we can't also downplay the value of what the value that the Youth Commission is going to play, because we are hoping that as young people, the Youth Commission shall be the body that shall mainstream young people into all sectors of the economy of this nation. That we are not just talking about representation at the political level, but mainstreaming young people into the private sector, mainstreaming young people into the public service. Do you realize that 40% of public servants in Kenya have actually already surpassed the retirement age, but are still earning salaries? So we are hoping that this Youth Commission that has been established, that will hopefully be established, will be one of the bodies that shall represent the interests of the young people and ensure that the youth are mainstreamed everywhere. That when you look at industrialization, you have young people there. When you look at business creation, that the commission shall be able to champion and push for the creation of an environment where young people can start businesses, so that they can even get to enjoy this 7-year tax holiday. So what I'm suggesting, and my request to the youth, is that as we are reading this document and critiquing it, let us do it wholesomely. But we also cannot ignore the fact that not all aspirations and concerns of the Mwananchi made it to the document. Otherwise, I'm sure we would have like an 1,000-page document.
That's true.
And
That's
it cannot,
true.
it could not
It could
possibly,
not-
it
you
could not
cannot
possibly,
represent
yes,
50 million
yes,
views.
it could not possibly capture all the struggles and challenges that people are facing across the country.
Yeah.
But then again, the other reason for that is because when people were told appear before the task force, not everybody did it. There are people who, from the word go, had opposed the process and did not even take their views to the task force.
I would like to clarify
Yes.
some things, because
Yes.
I feel as though also that you have had a very good experience with this document,
Yes.
with the task force and the initiators of this initiative. There are other people who have had equally opposing experiences.
Yeah.
Me being one of them. And I can speak very authoritatively, because when they formed the task force, the 14-member task force, I even wrote articles about youth not
Why
being
there was no-
represented.
why there was no young
and
person.
I
Yes.
wrote letters. I wrote a letter to Paul Mwangi. Yes, I wrote a letter. I wrote so many letters saying we need to have youth representation there, otherwise you're going to have a gap. And I want to speak authoritatively on matters that you're talking about. These issues have been addressed. Issues of jobs, young people not having jobs, have been addressed. That is a fallacy. I've read at least 200 pages of this document, and I can even quote a couple of those things that they're suggesting, and none of them literally give a solution. I even like what Okango was talking about when it was about inclusivity and how the people with disability are being brought to the table in terms of elective positions and politics, because you are able to point out what the document is saying. When it comes to shared prosperity and economic empowerment for the youth, there is nothing in this document. I will just go and quote on promoting equality and equity to generate economic development, which is one of the things where they try to stretch out and talk about where, how to address this issue of jobs with the youth. And they talk about things like CEOs of state agencies should reflect the face of Kenya. Just as you guys have said, the face of Kenya is not only tribal. It's not only age. I mean, it's not only tribal, it's not only gender. It also is 75% of Kenya is youth. So when you say you're going to have the face of Kenya represented, I was hoping to then see here that there's going to be a policy or an amendment in
But
that.
this is
No.
Yeah.
Let me conclude.
Yes, please.
Because my question was then, how then do I ensure that at least the youth state agencies are at the bare minimum led by the youth or youthful kind of leaders, you know?
to you, Gloria.
Because those are the guys who then will say, all these things that are being brought after the document is there.
explain to you.
They wouldn't come because somebody would have caught it.
Let me explain to you. And I'm glad we are having this conversation, and the people watching us should understand this. The main reason why there's established the Youth Commission is to converge all the challenges and issues affecting the youth at one point for rectification.
What is
But
the difference
just hold on,
between the
just
Youth
hold on.
Commission and the National Youth Council that we have
National
now
Youth
with the same
Council
mandate?
is under a ministry. Youth Commission is established.
Have you read the mandate of the National Youth Council?
Gloria, let me speak. I
Kumewaka moto.
want us to read this document with an open mind, but most importantly, with an objective. The objective is to look at it, how does it solve the challenges that the young people are facing today or any other person? The reason why all these issues of the young people are converging at a central point called the National Youth Commission is because it is the work of the commission, if you read chapter 15, to make decisions, administrative, policy,
And legislative. Yes.
And therefore, if we are talking about the CEOs of any parastatal,
It will be
should
covered there.
then it means when the National Youth Commission or the Youth Commission is making a policy, they
shall
will
factor in
ensure that they factor that. Number two,
I understand. I
hold
just
on,
need you
just
to
hold on.
sensitize us
Number
and the
two,
public. What is the difference between this proposed youth council and the existing National Youth Commission that we have, which has, according to what I have read and I have followed up, the same mandate?
Now, listen. The National Youth Council has got limited mandate. At some point, they have to consult the ministry. At some point, they have to consult the national government. And therefore, their mandate is limited. The
So then,
commission-
would it,
the
yes,
commission
is independent.
is independent.
So then, don't you think, and in all fairness, instead of wasting billions of taxpayers' money on going around to collect views that we already have,
No.
don't you think if the difference between the National Youth Council and the proposed Youth Commission is the autonomy of the institution, don't you think that instead of all this money we wasted, we could have just empowered the National Youth Council?
Now, creation of the Youth Commission is an empowerment of anything youth in this country. And I'll tell you, in the commission, and I want you Kenyans to know how commissions work. Commissions work by making decisions. Decisions are voted on. If you read the BBI report that establishes the Youth Commission, it says that 4 of the 7 shall be young people. The young people in the commission, the 4 of them, shall make a decision. When they vote, if they vote 4 of them, their vote carries the day. Basically, the commission is run by the young people. And let's
Absolutely.
go back to creating employment.
No, absolutely.
Now,
By the way,
no,
I
let's go back
agree.
to creating employment. That's the issue.
For the record, I agree.
Thank
I
you for
agree.
agreeing. So don't say money has been wasted.
I agree. No, I agree with the proposed youth commission. My
Now,
problem is
I want to
we
unpack
keep
it for you.
creating. We keep creating new things. We had Vision
When
2030.
you read-
We drop it.
No,
we
no,
come
no.
with Big 4 agenda.
Gloria.
We drop it. We come
Gloria,
with it. We drop it. So I'm
When
asking,
you are reading this document, you must read the legislative part,
The administrative
policy,
part
the-
and policy.
When you
I
read
have
the
read it.
administrative,
I have read it.
it also says that they will be streamlining. If you read the legislative,
Yes.
it also says that even the act that establishes the National Youth Council will be streamlined to conform.
So maybe
to
let
the
me
National
rephrase
Youth
my
Commission.
question. Can I
Yes.
rephrase my question to you and to
Go-
the public?
go ahead.
Since this youth commission is very powerful and we are proposing that we create it, yeah? What faith should I have in the youth commission when I know that we propose to create the National Youth Council
With a limited mandate?
No.
Yes.
No, at that moment, that limited mandate should have at least gotten us to a place where the youth are economically empowered, where the youth are even represented in politics through the structures that they proposed and they tried to put in place. Since that failed under government, under the same kind of service charter and the mandate that they got, what faith should I have now? You know, it is like someone saying, "Umeenda umenunua watch mali, the same place. Na hiki tu, you know, this thing has failed." When I'm coming back there, there's no guarantee.
Let me
There's no
give you
insurance.
a perfect example.
It is just good.
The creation of the Youth Commission, and I'll give this analogy, is like you have a kiosk. And this kiosk, people have been buying, some are not buying. But then there is a proposal to create a supermarket where we'll accommodate all types of people and youths.
Do you refuse?
Do you refuse to go to the supermarket and die in your kiosk, or you say, wait a minute,
Can I give this a chance?
let me give the supermarket a chance because the influx is high, demand is high, supply
you
is
know what
high,
I do?
management is
You
high.
know what I do?
Now,
I question.
Now, as you question-
No.
as you question-
Huwezi uliza swali na nisijibu.
no, I was, that
Si
was an
umeuliza,
analogy.
do I refuse?
I've not finished. So, Gloria, the young people that are watching this show, time is up. And they must know that their challenges that they face, they can only be solved through a convergence. When we have everyone pulling from one side, from the other side, they will not be solved. But we must have a point of reference where we can say, the Constitution requires that the young people must be represented in Parliament. The constitution requires that the young people must be protected from this. Where do you point the arrow today? You can point it zigzag left. In that document, when that time comes and it's implemented, we shall point that arrow at the right place, called the Youth Commission. And that problem shall be their problem. They'll carry it, they'll face it. That is what is called accountability in constitutionalism. We must create opportunities that create accountability. In the current situation, there's no accountability. Look at the minister that youth department is under. Is he a young person or she a young person? No.
But those are the questions we've been asking, and we've been trying
that
to
is why
push.
we are. That's why the BBI is fixing this.
I choose
Gloria,
to
just
be careful around that.
yes.
You can
Just to add on to what Fred is talking about, yeah. I'd like to compare the National Youth Council to the National Gender and Equality Commission, and just to see how much has been achieved by the National Gender and Equality Commission versus how much the National Youth Council has achieved. And that is the difference, being the fact that one is an independent body and the other is not. You know, and the other is not. The National Gender and Equality Commission has achieved so much for the women. And in fact, some of these additional propositions that have been made in the BBI to benefit the women in terms of representation are because they were pushed and championed by the National Gender and Equality Commission. I know that they formed a group of, what was it called? There's a group of women that was formed. I can't remember it. The acronym was something starting with a C. A group of women leaders across the country was formed by the National Gender and Equality Commission, and they began championing for the representation of women in government from way back. You know, from way back last year when the commission was, when the task force was taking views for women. And that's why you see women are celebrating a lot of gains in this particular report. So I'm just imagining, if we have a National Youth Commission, how much will be achieved versus what is being achieved right now by the National Youth Council. Already the National Youth Council, by its constitution, does not have that respect, even that, but the particular respect that you'd be given to have your decisions taken seriously, to have your recommendations taken seriously.
You're preaching to the choir because
Yes.
I'm with you.
Yes.
The only thing where we now, we go our separate ways is there was an attempt to look at the youth agenda. The attempt was being solved by an institution, a creation of an institution. The institution has failed. The National Youth Council has failed, if you ask me. And now there's a second attempt, and I'm not saying that it's not enough for second chances. There's a second attempt to look at the youth agenda through a commission, through a new institution. Yes. So I always question the ideology behind doing the same thing.
But this is not the same thing, Gloria. It is not the same thing.
But
it is not the same thing. And by the way, you're a typical Kenyan. Typical Kenyan who looks at everything from the lens of suspicion. And I think as a country, if we are able to eliminate suspicion in everything good that is proposed, then we'll be able to move forward. Because when you approach something with an open mind, then you can be able to make your suggestions. You can be able to be part of the process. If I am already critical of a process, you can you know how Kenyans behave. If I am critical of a process, I will not even bother to participate in it. I will not even bother to know what happens. It is synonymous to people who are critical of BBI, completely critical of BBI.
Okay.
The ones who are saying I will not even read the report.
I want to to bring in Brigid because I come from a mindset where I say it is it's actually your civic responsibility and your civic duty to question and be critical about anything, initiatives or whatever that your government is proposing to you. So it is not us or myself questioning the ideologies, the methodology, is me carrying out my civic responsibility, and there are many of us who actually feel this is how we hold our government accountable. That's why we have the show. But I want to bring Brigid in because I feel like I need to give you this space to talk to us about, there was a conversation that now that we are trying to expand the executive to bring in the prime minister, 2 deputies and all those, hizo zote wanataka kuweka huko juu. And you guys have been shouting a lot about nominations, but I have not heard you guys shouting that in those 5 positions, there should be a person. Are you not interested in those ones?
To me, I'm not agreeing that thing of president like selecting prime minister,
Minister,
deputy. It's like the whole powers is his. And as Amka one day I say, my deputy is not around. Of which I don't agree with that. Yes. And I hope that...
Do you think maybe we should have a conversation of pushing that in those deputies, maybe
Exactly.
instead of saying hatutaki deputies waekwe, tuseme waekwe lakini mmoja akue
Akwe
wa
person with
person
disability. Yes,
That's
I'm going there.
That's already there.
Okango is where? Wewe wacha
No, I'll
Okango.
tell you. I'll tell you what she's done. I'll tell you.
I hope I'll be among them.
I'll tell you how it is.
Because there was also
No, giving all powers to president to select. Hapo kutakuwa na
the
tribalism.
imperial
yes,
presidency
like now,
kind of.
I'm sorry to use, like if I'm Kale, deputy will be Kalenjin or something. I don't like the idea. I think people should go there for deputy, even the prime minister, you know. Then this
Do you
thing
think
where-
those do you think those positions anyway are
I hope-
necessary?
Me, I don't like we are wasting our taxpayers for these guys. I think we should just have president and deputy, and why should we have a
Gloria.
prime minister?
I
Okango,
I
very
feel
briefly,
bad.
very briefly.
I feel very bad when we cannot support a situation or a proposal that is ensuring the achievement of a constitutional principle that requires that the cabinet, the national executive, shall reflect the regional diversity of the people of Kenya. I feel very bad. The reason why there's a strengthening of the national executive by creating the position of prime minister and two deputies is to ensure that that principle of constitution is achieved. And the constitution, and I want Brigid to keep referring to it, 54
Close to.
50, Klaus
requires
50,
that
50,
in appointive
52.
and elective, appointive and elective, 5% shall, even though progressive. What she doesn't like about it is the progressive. Anyway, there's nothing
Brigid,
that...
why don't you like the word
Just hold on.
progressive?
There's nothing that will stop the appointing authority at the cabinet to ensure that in appointing that cabinet, while conforming with the principle of the regional diversity, he also conforms with the principle of 5%
Can you speak on the word?
of.
Can you speak on the word progressive?
Progressive means not only now. It can be this election, next election.
So in short, so that we can let's play our civic duty and sensitize people.
Okay.
So it is a promise ya uko mbele.
No.
Tukipatana uko in case maybe ni kama ile revenue allocation yenye walikuwa wanataka kusema,
Let me
then
tell
it
you.
will go up
Let me tell you.
when we reach a place where the economy
Guys, progressive has been used in a constitutional context to mean, assuming today the president appoints the cabinet, and only one is a person living with disability.
Yes.
Then that's not the end of the show. In appointing the commission of the youth commission, then there must also somebody with disability. In appointing the Human Rights Commission or IBC or whichever commission, there will be one. Progressive means in all spheres of government. That is what it is.
My layman understanding of the word, and even you explaining it, is with time.
With time,
And
yeah.
also
With
maybe
the time,
and maybe
at a time when that opportunities come.
And Okango, maybe also if you can pass my message to the task force, they need to stop.
Are you trying to label me this?
Yes. Maybe if you can also pass my message, you and your colleagues need to hear us, and really hear us. You know, don't talk us down. People with disability have come out. By the way, they had a very strong press conference. They came out and they said they don't like
glad
this
they were
thing.
at Bomas.
Yeah? They came to Bomas
You were
also,
there.
but they were also not clapping. I saw Isaac was not very happy with certain things. But I want to believe that if you want this to be an initiative that is about building bridges, then you really must hear the other people.
Gloria.
And now that I talk about hearing, I want us to I personally feel, I was in Bomas, you guys were in Bomas, and I was very surprised, by the way, because I sat next to elected leaders, elected all around me, who, when the deputy president started talking, they stood up and started telling him to sit down and shouting at him. And then I thought to myself, the one good thing that came out of my presence in Bomas was that I said, if these are the guys who have been elected, who are here representing the views of Kenyans, I think it's time I run for office, because this can't be the caliber
Time
of
up.
people.
Yeah.
I think it's
Time
time.
up.
But this thing about hearing the other people, I think that's where the disconnect is. I think please pitisha hii message kwa task force.
You know, Gloria.
Kenyans want to be heard.
Exactly.
Before Ruth Ambogo fix it,
Yes.
let me say something. I'm glad you are sending me, but I'm not. I'm a Kenyan like you, so I'll use the other opportunity, the other platform to tell them the same message you're telling me.
Okango.
Now,
Uh-huh.
Gloria, I was at Bomas and I saw what happened. This is a free country. Freedom of speech, as expression, it is there. And it is unfortunate that some of the speakers were gagged. It's unfortunate. But I also want to say this. The document...
Unfortunate and wrong,
Yes, the document...
considering it was
the
about
document
building bridges.
is about national conversation. And the person who was shouted down is a government official, is a state officer. He gave his views that some people acknowledged. But we are in a democracy. I don't need to agree with you 100%. Even this show, we are not agreeing.
Yeah.
But what I'm
Absolutely.
saying, there are also certain people who critique this document, but they had opportunity. One, in the presentation, BBI 1. Two, in the validation. They never. Instead, they chose to go to Chatham House.
Okango,
and present their views to a foreign
Okango, in
country.
all fairness, you need to hear out the other people.
Yes, we are.
And Brigid has been
Yes,
sitting here talking about the word progressive.
Thank you, Gloria. This I want to tell you, Fredrick and Ruth.
Yes, yes.
Some of us, we contributed about this thing, what we wanted in
Want to
PBI.
see.
But whatever we gave out to them to amend to PBI, it was left out.
Was it a wrong messenger?
Okango,
Allow me to now be very objective.
This is how
Allow me to now be objective
That's
about
not right,
this.
by the way.
Allow me to be objective about this. From the beginning, at some point, I said that, you know, it almost, the BBI is not a solution to everything that we possibly are facing as a country. And various groups presented their views, and certain presentations and certain opinion did not make it to the final report. Because I remember I told you ours 90% made it, but I mean, the remaining 10% did not make it. And I would even gladly tell you that one of the propositions we had was that the deputy governors should be below the age of 35. You know, that deputy
it didn't
governors,
make it,
and
yeah.
it did not make it, you
Yes.
know. And it doesn't mean that the conversation stops there. It means that various groups, I mean, for us, we could reconvene and say we would have wished to see that, you know, that deputy governors are below the age of 35. And this is, and everybody has a right to converse and say, this is what we hoped to see, and we never
And
saw
we
it.
never saw it,
And persons
yes.
with disabilities are doing that. I've even seen a group of young people today who actually held a press conference expressing their displeasure with certain propositions of the BBI report, and also expressing what
So
they
there's
would have
room-
wished
there's
to
room
see.
to
That
continue the
There's
conversation.
room for us to continue with the
Yes.
conversation,
Yes.
and by the room for us to continue with the room for us to continue with the conversation does not end at the BBI level only.
Yes.
We have various government agencies that continue to work even outside the mandate of
The
BBI.
mandate of
You know,
BBI.
that we have various platforms to lobby for these things. That I would even suggest that persons with disability, for instance, if they feel that this proposition will not even make it to the BBI will not make it to the BBI, then they should pursue they should
There are
pursue
different
Parliament.
forums.
There are various fora
Yeah.
to express some of this, you know, some of these feelings that we do have.
there.
Of-
Especially
yes.
the legislative bit.
Yes,
that will
the
not require
legislative
referendum.
bit, you
And
get.
can be done even
Even
today.
outside
today, eh?
BBI, you get. Yes.
Unfortunately, we've run out of time, so
Time's up.
Time up.
Time
eh?
up.
Time is always up, huh? So I would just like to get a 30-second take on your position or your feeling of this Building Bridges initiative, and perhaps in an angle that can, you know, sensitize the youth or guide the youth. Maybe we can start with you, Brigid, because you've been very strong on the people with disability. Yeah.
For my conclusion is that I just want to say thank you, Gloria, for giving me this opportunity. To person with disability, I just want to say that I don't want to tell you that you oppose this BBI. You just read. You have to read, understand the BBI. And I know most things were not there for us. We are still like, we have formed a committee for person with disability. We will send the copy to everyone to read, and I hope they will amend, to suit us. Yes.
Thank you so much for coming, and it's good also to hear. I've learnt a lot. I did not even know about this renewal of the tax certificate. Ruth Ambogo, what is your take on BBI?
Well, for me, I'd like to address the young people in particular, because for a long time as a country, the youth view, the youth position, the youth concerns have been ignored by various task forces. Processes have come, opportunities have come for young people's issues to be addressed, but the same have never been taken seriously. And I think for the first time, government is realizing that youth is an equal stakeholder in the growth and development of the country. And by addressing the various issues that the report has addressed, especially on access to opportunities, mainstreaming of the young people in the economy, by ensuring that the youth have a tax holiday, by ensuring that the youth can get an opportunity, a waiver and an opportunity to pay help after a certain period of time, 4 years, and the establishment of the Youth Commission is a sign that the government is taking seriously the interest of the young people. And for us as the youth, what I can say is that our concerns do not end with the BBI report. We have various platforms and opportunities and avenues to continuously address the issues that affect us. For instance, on questions of representation, we still need a lot more done to ensure that the youth are represented politically. And these are issues we should pursue beyond the BBI report. But then again, just to echo what everybody else will probably say, is that the youth need to read this for ourselves, because for a long time we have been gullible. For a long time we are the ones who say we are waiting for our political leaders to read for us and give us direction. But we are at the prime position, age and time, and we have the right resources to be able to understand what this document means for us and make an informed decision moving forward.
Thank you. That is a lot there, but it has like summarized the whole BBI. Okango, educate us, guide us, take us there.
Thank you, Gloria. For the people who are watching this show, and for the people who are in the process of reading this document, and those who have not started, and those who even have finished reading it, I have a message for you. The message is that this is not the end. This is the beginning, because for the first time, Kenyans have an opportunity to correct the mistakes that have happened in previous. This document that is propositions from the people of Kenya, it provides us an opportunity to be inclusive, provides us the opportunity to strengthen our devolved system, provides us with the opportunity to strengthen our parliament. It provides us the opportunity to ensure that we stop theft of public money. And therefore, in this document, you will find that the development that is needed much at the grassroots, at the ward level, there is money that has followed it there, and everyone shall be equal. It doesn't matter whether you are from a rich family, whether you are a dynasty, whether you are a hustler. That ward fund, 5% of the 35 equitable share to the counties, shall belong to all of us. And it means in the protection of the socio-economic rights, water, electricity, food, health services, all of us shall enjoy that equally. And that is the true meaning of inclusivity. BBI provides that inclusivity in its true form and meaning. Lastly, we must understand that if we don't read it, we shall not know what it is. Kamata, jisome, na songa na BBI.
Well, that sounds like a very well done advertisement for the Building Bridges initiative. Well, that was time up, guys, and the take home here is that you have to read this document, and it is the Building Bridges initiative season. Don't be caught sleeping. Read the document, and as I always say, it is your civic duty and responsibility to critique and question every initiative that this government or any other government is bringing to you. But first, you have to read that document, guys, and then to be able to do it from an informed position. Please catch us on our social media handles. They're on our screen right now. And let's catch up again next week.